everybody, I'm sorry this video is so late. I have been busy with school. Green Ninja Lloyd, I will get to your request in the next video, I promise. Today we're reacting to the diesel plow. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm so sorry guys, I lost track of time with my assignment. I'm gonna skip the intro because I don't want a copyright claim.
The same can be said for some of the engines on the Scarlet Railway, but some engines available would often do passenger services, though there will only be 3 trains a day. The engines don't mind having a rest, but they do prefer being out and about. It's better than being in the shed all day, they would often say. But the winter cannot stop 2 engines on the line, and they were Rusty and Fred. Each day they would take the maintenance train in turns to check the line for any repairs or replacements. Although Fred tries to prove that he is reliable and useful, he dreads the cold weather. The last time we saw Fred, he was lazy.
Yeah, I remember that.
To do the work for him. One time he had hidden the weed-killing tanker wagon
I remember that too.
Fred was pleased that he did his trick, but he will soon realize why the tanker was important. "It's our turn today, Fred," said his driver. "Dreaded cold," grumbled Fred. "Why does winter have to be cold? I would rather be warm in my shed." "The maintenance train is important, Fred," huffed Peter Sam. "Stop making excuses so you can lay it about. And you say that you're reliable." "I have every right to say that I dislike the cold, Peter Sam," replied Fred crossly. "It doesn't mean that I'm lazy." "Whatever. Make sure you don't hide the maintenance train like you did with the weed killer." Fred rolled his eyes and he rolled away to collect the maintenance train.
They're never gonna let him live that down, are they?
Those engines. I've learned my lesson ever since the weed killer fiasco, and they still don't think that I'm reliable. "Well, Fred," said his driver honestly, "you may be reliable, but after so many years of being a lazy engine, they do have a point. I'm sure you prove them otherwise." "I hope so, because I'm sick of it. Rusty at least trusts me out of all of them."
Okay, we're gonna skip the intro because I don't want to get a copyright claim.
"Sounds like we'll be in the shed tomorrow," sighed Rinius. "Driver says that the radio forecasts a snowstorm tonight and he is right." "I bet Fred is pleased," teased Duncan. The other engines laughed, but Fred scoffed at Duncan's jib. "Would you stop berating me for that?" fumed Fred. "I have been a lot better than I was with that weed killer stuff. Why don't you all move on?" "Because we don't trust you," replied Duncan crossly. "You have to do something clever to prove to us that you're reliable. I bet you're really glad that tomorrow there's a snow day. What with your laziness and all." "Don't be too hard on Fred," replied Rusty crossly.
Thank you, Rusty.
"Why are you defending him, Rusty?" said Duncan. "Do you remember how hard he was on you with that weed killer wagon?" "Well, since we're on the subject of berating someone on past experience, I seem to recall, Duncan, you ignored my warning about the bad piece of track before crossing the curve, and yet you've been derailed. Now do you still see me berating you after many decades, Duncan didn't say anything. He just went up and said, "I still have my doubts. Good night." "Never mind him or any of the others, Fred. They'll soon learn. Whatever that will be," muttered Fred doubtfully.
Oh, I feel bad for Fred.
Passed, but it was still cold, cloudy, and the railway line was covered in snow. The workmen came to work earlier in the day and cleared a path for the engines in the sheds. "I'll have to cancel all trains today due to the line being covered in snow," announced Mr. Percival, "and that includes the maintenance train. But Rusty, I need you to help the workmen clear the snow. You'll be fitted with a snowplow. It'll be a tough job, but I'm sure you'll manage." "I will, sir," replied Rusty, determined. "Can I help too, sir?" asked Fred. The other engines laughed. "Imagine Fred ploughing snow," Sir Handel laughed. "One push of the snow and he'll just call it a day, the lazy engine that he is," chortled Ivo Hugh. But before Fred could reply, the thin controller smiled at him. "I appreciate your kind offer, Fred, but I'm afraid there is only one snowplow here since I relied on Rusty to do this job. But maybe another time. But in the meantime, you'll have to stay in the shed." Meanwhile, Rusty was busy ploughing the snow.
I kind of wish there were two so Fred could prove he had a chance.
While he was doing that, he was thinking about Fred and how the other engines were being hard on him.
Oh.
He was still thinking about it as his driver backed him up to shove more snow out of the way.
I mean,
Then as he moved Rusty forward, there was a loud bang underneath the snow.
Uh-oh.
What was that? He said surprisingly. Sure enough, the workman found the cause of the noise. It's this rock, replied one of the workmen.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
Blizzard last night and was buried beneath the snow after it had fallen by the strong wind. Then as Rusty rolled away from the snow, Rusty and the workman were shocked to find that the rock had damaged the snowplow.
Oh, no!
The workmen inspected the damage and found that they couldn't work with it. But we've hardly got this snow out of the way, the workman sighed. I'm sorry, Rusty, but it's no good for us, and we need to get it repaired. But who knows how long that would take? So Rusty rolled slowly away with his train and the damaged snowplow back to Cronin's Gate.
Poor Rusty. Now they wish they had two snowplows.
As Rusty parked in the yards, a lorry came towards the station. The driver rushed to Mr. Percival's office. He soon came towards Rusty. We need your help, Rusty. A lorry full of medical supplies couldn't get through the road through the various towns and villages because of the snow. I would love to, sir, replied Rusty. Honestly, the snowplow had been damaged. The thing controller saw what Rusty was referring to, and he was very disappointed. What can we do? The people need their medical needs. Then Fred had an idea. Why don't I be the snowplow, sir? He asked. The other engines looked towards Fred and thought that he was mad. Don't say such silly things, Fred, retorted Duncan. It's impossible for an engine to be a snowplow. No, listen, said Fred. But the other engines began to laugh at his idea until Rusty blew his horn loud and long to keep the other engines quiet.
I like Rusty.
Now, Fred, proceed. Thank you, Rusty. Sir, my driver had shown me a video on his phone on the Talyllyn Railway after it was covered by snow. They used Alf as a battering ram to clear it, so Rusty could use me to clear the lot. The driver soon showed the same video that he had shown to Fred.
No way.
The thing controller stared and then he smiled. Well done, Fred. Why didn't I think of that? Driver, start him up right away. Yes, sir, replied the driver. And with his engine running, Fred was coupled in front of Rusty.
You think it will work?
He was coupled to the train with the medical supplies and the workmen, and away they went.
I think the other engines could be harsh on little old Fred. They're being, I'm going to be honest, they're being
Throughout
bullied.
the day, Rusty and Fred charged through the snow, and the workmen helped out by shoveling it away. They managed to get to the stations with all the medical supplies, and with that, the line had been cleared by the end of the day. The next day, Rusty and Fred were given a surprise. All the villagers came and gave them 3 cheers for their effort from yesterday with the snow and delivering the important medical supplies.
Good.
Don't thank me, replied Rusty. I flatter with your regards, but you should be giving thanks to Fred. He was the one who came up with the idea of being a snowplow after mine was damaged yesterday. So all the villagers gave him 3 cheers, and all the engines whistled in unison. Even Duncan.
Maybe now they won't be such bullies. I mean, I'm sorry. They acted like complete jerks and complete bullies. So, but that's all for today's video, guys. I will see you on Friday's video. Green Ninja Lloyd, be ready because I'll be reacting your video on Friday. This is KBear101 signing out. Adios, everybody.